questions for Cloud9. So please make sure to navigate to the globe icon at the bottom of the Zoom screen to select your language preference. And after a delay, you should begin to hear translations. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to queue yourself in line for questions during your region's allotted time period, and we will call on you to ask your question. Please remember to direct your question to a player, players, or the coach, and please allow a slight pause for translations. Before we begin, I'd also like to thank our translators, Wenby Shi, Fanny Fang, and Jisun Park for stepping in to translate for us. Their knowledge of our sport has been invaluable and will provide us more accurate translations as we move forward throughout the press conferences. We will begin with questions for Korean media.
한국 기자분들 아래 손들기 버튼 눌러주시면 순서대로 불러드릴게요. 국민일보 윤민석 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 저는 감독님께 이제 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 오늘 이제 경기의 페이는 무엇이라고 생각하시는지 궁금합니다.
This question is over to Coach Missy. What do you think went wrong in the series?
I think we tried different things against them that we thought would work against them, and nothing really worked out. And then the last game we played standard against them, and we also didn't win. So, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know. Maybe there's something else that we could have tried or done differently to win, but I think that we're just the better team today.
Are there any other Korean media questions?
다른 질문 있으신가요? 네, 쿠키뉴스 문대찬 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 퍽지 선수한테 질문 드리겠습니다. 처음에 조추첨 결과가 나오고 젠지랑 조추첨 결과가 나왔을 때 좀 자신감 있는 반응을 보이셨는데 좀 더 실제로 상대해보니 좀 젠지 전력이 어떠셨는지 궁금합니다.
This question is over to Perks. We saw the reaction video of Cloud9 after the draw, and you guys seemed very confident. So how was playing against them today?
Well, the truth is that we did think they were the weakest first seed team we could get. I think we can all agree that T1 and Damwon look scarier, and then maybe RNG, you can argue, we'll see. I mean, we won't see actually. Maybe RNG was the weakest one, but definitely the draw should be good for us. I mean, they did play pretty well today. We got 3-0, so we were definitely not the better team. Nevertheless, I was still quite confident going into the series, and yeah, that's what you gotta do, you know, if you want to win. Well, we didn't today, but
네, 오센 임재영 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 오센 임지영입니다. 네, 폭재 선수한테 질문하고 싶은데요. 오늘 그래도 2세트는 좀 큰 격차로 졌지만 1, 3세트는 충분히 이길 수 있었는데 오늘 경기에서 좀 아쉬웠던 순간이 있다면은 한마디 부탁드립니다.
This question is over to Perks. I think game number 2 was a thump victory from Gen.G, but game 1 and 3 looked like a very winnable game for you guys as well. So is there anything left to be desired in this series?
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's always hindsight and it's always like, what if, but maybe we won game 1, the series would have gone a different way because they would be very scared of our strategy, like the Ziggs and Yasuo thing. I think that they did have a good answer to it. We expected them to pick different champions, I guess, but they had a good answer, so it was not as easy. I think game 3 we should have won. But besides that, when you're 0-2 down, you tend to play worse and you tend to make more mistakes. So I understand how we did not win that game, but nevertheless, yeah, I think obviously we wanted to show more today. Yeah.
경향게임스 박준수 기자님 질문 부탁드립니다. 네, 제가 읽어드릴게요. 미씨 감독님께 질문 드립니다. 오늘 경기에서 가장 위협적이었던 젠지 선수가 누구였다고 생각하십니까?
This question is over to Coach Missy. Who was the scariest Gen.G player in the series?
Today, I think BDD played the best. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think he was the most annoying player today, and I think preparing against them, we're mostly afraid of like Ruler, I think, but I do think he was not really, like, we tried to shut him down, and I don't think he was really too much part of the game. Like game 1, he was strong, but he was making a lot of mistakes, and our comp was really good against his champion, and then yeah, the other games, it was mostly PDD.
Recording in progress.
We will now transition to taking questions from Chinese media.
Cloud9电竞。你好，这里是靠谱电竞，想问一下 First 选手如何评价自己今年世界赛的表现？谢谢。
So this question is given to Force. So what's your comment on your own performance at this Worlds tournament?
I think I played up to expectations in general. I think we were going, by the public at least, everyone expected us to lose in groups. And I think for my individual performance, I did fine against most of the top laners. But for my own standard, I think I played not very well, especially this series against Gen.G. I think I played pretty poorly and made a lot of errors where I got caught and died in mid game a lot. So definitely could have played a lot better.
你好，那么这个问题任何一位选手都可以回答。想问一下，在今年世界赛上有收获到什么吗？谢谢。
They asked what's okay. I'll answer it. I think the main thing I would say for me individually was that I felt like all the teams are beatable. At least from the teams we versed, I felt like Damwon were probably the hardest, but other than them, I felt like every team was very beatable and that they also made a lot of mistakes, although we do too. So I guess going into the tournament, I thought a lot higher of the other teams other than Damwon, but it felt like the only team that was really hard to beat was Damwon, even though we did get 3-0'd by Gen.G. I do think they made a lot of mistakes as well as us.
Also, we weren't really able to hear that question that well because it was really quiet. Yeah, I wasn't able to hear that question at least.
Roxy, can we have the media member repeat the question?
Oh yeah, we answered it. Yeah.
We answered the question. It's just that the mic wasn't on when you asked the question.
Yeah,
so we couldn't hear it through our headphones.
So what's your biggest takeaway from this Worlds tournament? This was a previous question. Okay.
I'll take the question. That's a good question. I think the biggest takeaway is Worlds is a long tournament. And for most teams, you played a long year. And I think the most important thing is kind of your mental. And I guess trying to save gas for the important matches, which is something I could have done a lot better. And I'm sure the team has, like in general, or some of my teammates, we all could have done better. So at least for me, that's probably the biggest takeaway from this Worlds.
We will now transition to taking questions from English-speaking media. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to queue your question. Reminder that there will be a delay due to translations. Travis Gafford.
This question's for Perks. Perks, given that this is your first year on Cloud9, obviously I know you guys are just coming off of that match, but what is sort of your takeaway on your first year with this team? And, what do you think of how everything occurred and went down?
Thank you for the question, Travis. Well, considering a lot of factors for this year, the fact that I've been on one team my whole life, and the fact that I basically played AD carry for 2 years, besides the one split I played mid on G2, which like we all knew how we want to play the game. It was quite easier back then. And right now I had to adjust again from basically playing Worlds AD carry and going back to Midland, then of course changing like the cultural difference from EU to NA, and then obviously the whole fact that I'm living in a different continent than from what I used to, being far away from family and friends, which is very important to me as well. So all these factors, I think we did quite well. We actually won our first split in NA, which is I think a lot of people underestimate how not easy is to do such thing, because there was a lot of good teams in NA this year and they also tried really hard. So that was good. Obviously summer was kind of a shit fest, I guess, but I'm also proud of our comeback at the end. I think in the end maybe we were a bit too burnt out from all the scrims, all the practice, and we didn't make it all the way to finals. But then going into Worlds, nobody expected us to really do anything, and we were doing quite decent in scrims, minus versus the Asian teams. But that's just a story for most teams. So I thought that maybe we could do something in Worlds, and we did. I'm a bit grateful about this series, especially game 2 was kind of on me. And I mean, that's usually how it is when you lose a series like that. Whatever the series you lose, honestly, like you're looking at all the mistakes or all the like things you could have done different, better. But in the end, it's just like a kind of like a cycle, the grind cycle, of when you lose in the end. It's like either it's inevitable or I guess you go and win Worlds, which I haven't done yet. But this, considering the whole year, I would say it was a pretty decent year. I'm definitely very tired and gassed out at this point, so I'm just looking forward to like a whole mental reset and taking all the things I learned this year into going next year much better, because there was a lot I could do better. Yeah.
¿Qué?
There's no other way. Wait. Wait, what did you type?
Is everything okay?
Yes, we have to wait for the translations to go through. Benjamin Mock, Dexerto.
My question is for Miffy, Perks, and Sven. All three of you have spent significant time in both EU and NA during your careers. How close do you think the West is to winning a world's title? And what steps do you think need to be taken to get a Western win at Worlds?
Thank you for the question. Appreciate it. I think given that there's 17 out of 20 players left that are Korean players and the rest are Chinese players, I don't think the West is looking too good right now at winning Worlds. That's like my opinion. And given that both Western teams in quarters got 3-0, I do think there's quite a way until we win World Finals. Thank you for the question. Appreciate it.
I want to add to it. I think that basically just the way the whole league system is designed is extremely unfair. The Korean teams get to scrim against LPL, LJL, like all the I mean, I don't know, just everyone basically, and we're hard stuck in either EU or NA. So you know, like for a Western team to do well, we'd have to boot camp in Korea for a while and then do a tournament then. But that's like just very hard because we have to play a lot of useless games in like in Spring Split, for example, where we could be boot camping, or in some other time of the year where we could be boot camping. So it's just generally speaking, it will be very hard long term for a Western team to do well unless the tournament system changes and we can be able to travel the world so that we can have teams learn from each other and practice against each other for more time. And that way we can actually create better and more fun tournaments all around internationally. Thank you.
Nick and Ben Global.
Hey everyone, thank you for your time for doing this. It's been a pleasure to follow you this year. My question is for Perks, more of a historical question, I suppose. The last two Worlds, you have gotten the better of Glid, sent him home. This time he was able to return the favor. Is there anything that you'd like to say to him with him going forward at Worlds this year?
Good luck, Lid. I think you can do it. I think you can beat EDG, but you'll probably fall short to T1 or Damon in the final. But good luck anyways. I'm cheering for you, bro.
We will take the final question. MGG, Leo.
Hello guys, and my question is for Sven. You told us in a previous conference that you wanted to judge your performance on the content, not only on the result. So now that your tournament is over, are you happy with your tournament and are you happy with your own performance?
Not really that happy with my own performance this tournament. I think I had some standout really bad games, like Gen.G game 3 today. I got caught a lot, made a lot of mistakes in later stage of the game. I think I had some other bad games, like first game against Peace. Not that it mattered because they could never win, but still bad game. And I had one bad game in groups. I think it was a tiebreaker against Rogue. I played really bad in that one as well. So some standout bad games. And I have a lot of like moments that they really look really int. So I don't like that. But I think besides those 3 games, I think I played overall okay. Today we were kind of outclassed as a team, and it makes everyone look worse individually when we're dying in lanes or getting caught left and right. So I think as a team we did fine. 2-4 in a group with a team that wins 6-0 is fine, I think. And yeah, I think we could have easily won both game 1 and 3 today against Gen.G. So it feels kind of disappointing, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it's what it is. But no, I'm not really that happy with my own performance. But I think I played fine for the most part. Besides those 3 games, I had some good games too. So it's fine. Thanks for the question, bruh.
Okay, can I add to the question of like what would you change for the West to be better than the East? Is this still possible?
No, that's not possible. We're done.
No,
Mithy, come here,
Everyone moved on.
Sorry.
Everyone moved on, Mithy.
Mithy, I can introduce you. I'll ask you a question.
Mithy, how do you think the West can catch up to the East?
We have one final question. Vitor, Mais Esports.
Hello, everyone. I have a question for Blabber. I want your opinion about why do you think it keeps happening, at least on these last few years? Why do you think Cloud9 keeps having to be the last NA hope for a good performance in international stage?
I'm not sure myself. I was there during 2018 during semis, but I didn't really play. And I think at this tournament, and for me, it feels like at least after the first week, it feels like we're able to change our mental, and a lot of the players and staff were able to come together and kind of just play our best because we're not scared, and we're able to change our gameplay, I guess, to step up to the occasion. It feels like a lot of C9 players are able to step up to the occasion and play really well when the games matter most. So I think that's why it feels like C9 is able to do well internationally or in general.
All right. Thank you, media, for your questions, and thank you, Cloud9, for your time. We will begin the press conference for Gen.G shortly. C9, you may stand up and get your photo taken whenever Perks comes back.